Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers.
I can't tell you how excited I am to be on right now. It's been a couple of weeks of excitement, getting prepared, and I've done a lot of things in my life, but this has got to be close to the top.
Thank you, Reader's Magnet, and thank you, John, for putting this forth and taking the chance on us authors in presenting this out to the world.
I've enjoyed this immensely, Joanne.
Ellie, so have I. Thank you for who you are, and thank you, Reader's Magnet. You all are beautiful, and you've worked so very hard, and we are blessed.
We are.
I thank everybody that's involved with this process, because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers. We thank Reader's Magnet and everybody that's involved. I love Reader's Magnet. They say, we share your stories with the world.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today on my virtual booth with the Festival of Storytellers. And I apologize. I am between cooking out for family and doing my virtual booth session. My name is KYLEN BARRON. I am the author of Unspoken Truth from a Buried Past. And welcome to all of the fairgoers today. Today is Sunday, November 14th, and welcome to my virtual booth. How are you? I'm open for questions. Behind me, let me put this, say this. You will see a Christmas basket for raffle. It is not for sale. If you thank you. If you are looking at the basket, this particular basket is a very nice basket. In this basket for the raffle, you will receive 2 t-shirts. We would definitely need to verify sizes prior to sending out. You will get a signed autographed copy of the book with a complimentary bookmark. You will also receive 2 Unspoken Truth beverage mugs along with coasters. And in this basket, you will also receive 2 champagne flutes and a bottle of champagne with the champagne holder and flute holder included, along with a holder for the champagne should you decide to go out or take it to your significant other and sit down by the fireplace and enjoy this read. So I welcome you to purchase a book. You can go onto Amazon.com, Walmart.com, Book Babies Bookstore.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Target.com, and various other places that you will be able to find this book at online if you just type in the name Unspoken Truth from a Buried Past. When you buy a book, you will automatically be entered into the raffle. The winner of the raffle will be selected on December the 15th, and you will have this basket shipped to you. Shipping is included to you on by the 15th or the day after, which we will receive before Christmas, right before Christmas. So I definitely encourage everyone to do this. And there is a smaller basket. Unfortunately, it is not on display because yours truly has been all over the place and working with this lovely firm, Reader's Magnet. And so I encourage you to purchase a copy of the book. And a smaller basket, I apologize, is going to receive one of everything, and the t-shirt size again would have to be verified, minus the champagne and the champagne flute. So you would get a book, a complimentary bookmark, a coaster, a cup, and a t-shirt. All right. Thank you for, and there will be two winners. So one for the larger raffle, one for the smaller raffle, just to make that clear. And unfortunately, I have not listed that yet, but I'm announcing it now. So thank you very much for your support on Unspoken Truth from a Buried Past. And I look forward to hearing you. Fairgoer 1651. Wow. What will you be talking about today? Okay. I can talk. I'm talking about my book, and any questions that you have like this one, if there's anything you want to know about the book, please let me know, and I will answer your question to the best of my ability. And basically this is what this is, to actually speak about I've been speaking about the book so much past couple of weeks that, I don't mind. So any questions that you have, it is a nonfiction book. It is a true story. The main characters in the book, the two of the main characters in the book, are now deceased. And it's a true story that actually took place and began in the mid-50s in the South, and apparently eventually wound up in Philadelphia. And it is about a baby, a biracial baby that was born to a couple in the 50s, only to find out something that no one knew about around 2014. And when the story became unraveled, rather, then everything came to light about the baby's paternity and who the baby's natural parents were. But it's such an epic story because the child, of course, is alive and now an adult child, and did not know that he had several other siblings, being raised as an only child. This is not an unusual story by far, but it is a very unique story by far. And it is a unique story to the point where how it took place, when it took place, and the people that were involved. And out of this situation came a beautiful child. And what is the underlining message of the book? Again, it is a nonfiction book. The underlining message is actually we are targeting we are actually targeting mental health awareness. That's the underlining message in the book, because this particular book surrounded one particular person, possibly two people, that dealt with the demise of the family and suffered from mental health. And during that time where mental health resources were not available to women of color where they are now, my goal is to make this pretty much known and to let many women, I don't care what color they are, that there are resources out there. During this particular time, there were no resources for women or children of abuse that could get the help that they needed to further them better in life. And in this case, it did not happen. That's the underlining message. Any other questions? And thank you for asking. It's a very good question, Fairgoer 1435. I appreciate your asking that. And also, for Fairgoer 1651, thank you as well. Thank you. Yes, you're saying that's beautiful. And I appreciate that. I am targeting, because again, and I say this repeatedly, mental health awareness is real. Mental health breakdown is real. the struggle is real. And if you don't get the help that you need, families spiral out of control. It is 1435. It is the support that matters. It's the support group. It's also family that matters. And when that breakdown is no longer there, then you have adults walking around the face of the earth not knowing where to go or what to do. So this starts very early. And for those who didn't have the resources, and I reach out to them and tell them the resources are there. I myself suffered from mental health breakdown, and I had to find the resources. I'm not that old where the resources weren't coming to point with me. I had a serious problem that was about to take me away from here. But I also have my grandchildren, my children and my grandchildren that kept me above ground. So when I say that mental health, and if no one is aware of it, it will destroy families. Not only will it destroy you as and your soul as a person, it destroys families. It does. And if this is your family, or if this is a family that you know, I encourage you to the utmost to get the help that is needed. Did I have any challenges writing this book? Um, yes and no. Yes and no. My challenges writing the book was more of hurt. It was reflection. My no challenges was buckling down and getting the job done, because I felt that there was definitely, regardless of the challenges that I did face, I needed to be aware that there are people out there that need to hear this message. But there's also a lot of love that comes with writing this book. So I was very cautious in what I book, but kept keeping it real at the same time. So with that being said, I hope that answers your question. But there were some, but the good always outweighed the bad. So I was able to get through those challenges and move forward with writing, I believe, a wonderful nonfiction book titled "Unspoken Truth from a Buried Past." It has really taken on a precedence of its own, and I'm very happy with the work I have done, and I hope I can share that with others, and hopefully you are happy with it as well. Yes, 3255, I do. I have two books right now that I am working on. The question is, do you have any other books on the way to the other fairgoers? Yes, I do. I have two books that are coming out. Hopefully, everything works out well by the fall of 2022. And one is a book on autism. We speak on autism awareness and autism in families. And this book is actually based on my oldest grandson, who is autistic and has wrapped his heart around my heart. This book is a children's book, and is also geared to families who are dealing with challenges such as autism, and making it aware, making it an awareness to the schools and the children, who don't understand, that are in grade school or elementary school, even middle school, and some in high school, which you would think would know better by then, but don't understand the challenges that families face with this type of a disability or any other disability, but to understand, to allow these children to grow up to understand the challenges that these type of disabilities, children with disabilities and families who are dealing with these type of disabilities are facing. And this is one of the main reasons I decided to make it a children's book, so that others would understand. Um, and I have another book out. I'm sorry, back to 13, Fair Go at 3255. I do have another book coming out that is a fiction book. I've not yet titled that book, but they're both being worked on simultaneously as we speak, yes. And as far as Fair Go, it looks like 585. When did you start writing, and did you do anything else before that? Yes, I started writing this book in 2017, to be exact, and I did not finish completion of the book until 20 it's 2021 2020 January of this year, 2021, before it went into publication. And before I did that, I worked. I was a student. I have my degree. Um, what else? I raised my children. I have two beautiful sons that are adults now with families of their own, and I became a full-time grandmom. So that is very, very special to me. So, writing has become um, a late in life passion, and I have decided right now I am a subcontractor for the Department of Education, and I travel and I do core assessments and various studies for various school districts, could be anywhere in the country. So I've done that, and I still continue to do that because I do love working with children, and that's pretty much my history. But right now, I enjoy writing, and I enjoy my family. I enjoy spending time with family, and I especially enjoy spending time with my grandchildren. 2689. I apologize. What would you consider your purpose as a writer? I don't. That's a great question, and I'm going to try to answer that to the best of my ability. I don't consider myself having a purpose as a writer at all. I write because it inspires me. I've written Unspoken Truth from a buried past as a healing process for me, in which I needed. And I had to also, it was also a way for me to forgive. And once I did that, then I felt like I had a large weight lifted off my shoulders. And I got a lot of love and a lot of respect for this as well. And as far as my future work is concerned, I do this because it's something I enjoy. I'm about to retire soon, and this is just something that I enjoy doing. It is definitely something I definitely look to, and I treat it as a full time job. I set my hours, I set my time. I treat it as I'm very dedicated to it. So, to answer your question to the best of my ability, that's where I'm at as far as the purpose is concerned as a writer. You're welcome, and thank you. So, again, as you're looking at the raffle basket behind me, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm here in Georgia today, and I'm in Hampton, Georgia. I've recently moved from the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area, and it's such a gorgeous day. A little cool, but it's gorgeous. And I have family over unexpectedly, and as you can tell, I'm a huge Eagles fan from Philadelphia, and we were cooking out, and I realized I had a fair to attend because I love answering these questions and this is all new for me. So I am clearing my throat probably from the charcoal that is on the grill right now, but it's all good. I have time for everybody. Can you share with us a passage from your book that you find particularly meaningful? I can. There is a let me start at this point. This book needed it started with needing answers to um, the main character who was very abusive and passed away in 2009. And the baby that she had was a biracial baby uh, from the South, and she was married, but the baby turned out not to be her husband's baby. And it sent her, she wound up giving the baby up for adoption within 15 days of the birth of this child. And both she and her husband, unfortunately, but it wasn't something that her husband wanted to do, and he wanted to believe that the child was his. Unfortunately, it did not turn out that way, and he had bonded with the baby. Well, now the baby is an adult male. I would say senior citizen, because I am as well. The baby was born in 1957. So she, in turn, with giving the baby up for adoption, not informing her parents or her family that she had this baby because of the circumstances, was forced to lie and say the baby died at birth. And I found that very sad, unfortunately, but it was the times in which we were dealing with, in which she was dealing with. And her family never knew of her son that she put up for adoption and was raised pretty much right around the corner from where she lived. He has become a successful businessman, but all he wanted to know was who. He found out late in life that he had indeed been adopted and didn't know his biological mother. And by the time he found her, she was deceased. And so now the story comes out. Uh, Gladys, before I answer your question, which is a great question, let me finish with Fairgoer 873 to get to the end of that question, because I don't want to give too much of the book away. The meaningful part of that book deals with another character we call Captain in that book. And he has since passed away since interviewing him regarding this, the whole circumstances that surround this situation. If you read the book and read his part in the book, you will then realize how meaningful it is and how important it was for me to get this story out there to the masses, and focus on mental health awareness so that it just minimizes the destruction of families. That's what makes it meaningful. Now, Gladys, what is the most difficult part of your artistic process? God. God guides me. And as long as I can rely on that positive power and resource, then that is where I get my artistic process from. And I believe in a higher power. And I walk with the Father, and I talk with the Father, and I pray constantly to lead me not down a path, but towards a path that is fair, that is righteous and honest. And it doesn't get any better than that. So when I begin to write, I rely on that source, and I write. That's what I do. Marco, how long on average does it take you to write a book or a chapter? That's an awesome question, Marco. I again started this process in 2017, and it was a process. And I started out with it really depends on you. And I can't tell anyone, oh, it takes 3 months or it takes a year. It really depends on you. I would never put a time frame on how long it takes to write a chapter or a book. For some, it could take 3 months or 6 months or a year. For others, it may take a year, it may take 6 months, it may take 2 years or 3 years. My process started in 2017 when I started writing the book, and I found myself in a very slow process because I needed to know that what I was writing was actual, but it wasn't. So I had to go back and start from scratch again to get all the details, to do whatever interviewing, to ask the questions, to see the documentation before I could actually do what I needed to do. So a lot of things were changed. And so from 2017 to 2020, when I was really done, 17, 18, 19, 20, it's a few years. We're talking almost 4 years when I was almost done with the manuscript before I could actually submit it. There were multiple changes with paragraph, with chapters, with title chapters, with edits. There was a lot. And when you're writing a book, you got to make sure that your chapters flow. So I have never ever taken a writing course in my life. I just sat down and allowed the higher power to guide me, and I rely on that. I take that with me. Thank you, Marco, and thank you for your question. It's a very good question, and I thank you also for your support. You as well, Gladys, and thank you. Very good question. Let me talk about the basket again that we see on display here. Um, you get 2 T-shirts, size to be determined by the winner. You get 2 champagne flutes, a bottle of champagne, a autographed copy of Unspoken Truth from Very Past, a complimentary, um, what is that, bookmark, and 2 beverage mugs, along with 2 beverage coasters to sit the mugs on. The winner of this particular basket, of both baskets, and there is a smaller basket where we will be announcing 2 winners on the 15th of December. I've been so busy, so we haven't been able to actually get it up on the site. The second basket includes everything downsized by 1, minus the flute glasses, the champagne flutes and the champagne. And these 2 baskets will be shipped out in time for Christmas. Just so you need any questions on that, all you have to do is purchase a copy of Unspoken Truth, the softback copy, the paperback copy, rather, of Unspoken Truth from A Buried Past. You can get it online at walmart.com, barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, target.com, bookbabies, bookstore.com, and so many others, just to name a few. When you purchase a book, then you will return to or unspokentruth.net. You can also purchase a book from there. And when you purchase a book from one of these entities, you will automatically be entered into the raffle to receive this beautiful basket, and or the second basket, which is just a little smaller. And all you have to do is go onto the website unspokentruth.net and show proof of purchase that you did indeed purchase the book, and your name is automatically entered into the raffle for this giveaway, and shipping and handling is included in the giveaway. All right, just so that you know, and good luck. Thank you. I apologize, Figure 214. If you had an author you looked up to, who would that be and why? Um, I love, well, Maya Angelou was a poet, but I loved her writing. And I loved her writing pretty much because she was her words were inspirational. Her words were real. Her words touched my heart and millions of others as well. Um, there were so many other writers, but she was one that I actually looked up to. And you kind of caught me off guard because I can't really think of anybody else at this very moment. But I am an avid reader, and only because I'm so busy, I've got so much going on in my head. But thank you for asking that. Yes, yes, yes. Maya Angelou is great, and she was definitely someone I learned an awful lot about. Um, do you view writing as a kind of spiritual practice? I do. Emotional spiritual practice because I couldn't get through what I need to get through, and that includes my writing, and even on as life goes on a daily basis, without spirituality. And I put that first and foremost. I don't. I when I wake up, to me, it's a blessing. So as I go through my day, my spirituality is always first and foremost. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm trying to listen to what's going on outside. Justin, what do you do for inspiration on your stories? I got that question last night, Justin, and great question. Uh, I listen to John Coltrane. I listen to Miles Davis. Sometimes I listen to the blues. It depends on what I'm writing, but I love old school R&B. I listen to music, and music moves me. It depends on what mood I'm in. And I talk to people, and I talk to God, and I might watch a show that might give me an idea. That's how I get my inspiration. I can't speak for others. Everybody is different, but that's how I get my inspiration. But I have to lock myself down. That means when you're writing, you have to really find not only a place to sit quietly and do what makes you feel best, but you have to, in addition to your spirituality, you have to pretty much tune everything and everybody else out to become that creative entity that you need to be in order to write a powerful story, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, children, whatever genre, whether it's drama. It's got to be what the people are looking for or what the people are need. Even if it's not, you got to know within yourself that it's the very best. And if you're putting something out there for the world to acknowledge, you better put it out there correct. That's all I can say on that. It's got to be to the point where you want your writing to have that wow effect, and to be able to explain it exactly. Thank you for that question, Justin. I'm not looking. I'm sorry. 765, Fairco 765. The question is, would you choose to be popular or just express yourself? I'm not looking for I'm up there in age. I'm not looking for popularity. I'm a very humble person. I'm choosing to express myself, and I think that's a wonderful question to ask, and I'm not offended by it at all. It's just it's who I am. Is I found my passion late in life as far as a writer to express myself, and I find that expressing myself is a healing power for me. And so once I found that gift within me, I was told years ago as a child, preteen, that one day I would write a book, and I blew it off. But I found out that once I began to write, it did something to my insides. It touched my heart. This book, Unspoken Truth from a Buried Past, there are scenes in this book that will make you laugh. There are scenes that will make you cry. And those scenes that actually made me cry, I had to step away for a couple of days in order to compose myself and come back. But no, just to express myself, honey, is just something I found that I enjoy doing for me, and not minding having to share it with the world. So 7 6. So what would you say to those who have difficulty in expressing themselves or finding their own voice? Um, I understand exactly what you're saying, and that's a difficult task. If there is difficulty in expressing themselves or finding their own voice, um, I say talk to someone. I say find someone close that you can express yourself to, and that's willing to give you the positive as well as the negative feedback. And the positive feedback you can work with. The negative feedback you can also work with, because all that does is allow you to grow into who you are as an individual. And when you get to that point, then everything else begins to fall in place. But you cannot become offended by the negativity. Not all my reviews what I consider to be stellar reviews. And for those reviews, I ask people to share their honest opinion. Um, so I can't be taken back by what they're sharing because they're being honest. I take that and I learn from it. And that's what you do. You learn from it. You don't let a negativity take you down a dark path and you can't get over it, honey. You have to learn to be able to fly above that. And when you can, then the world is in the palm of your hand and you can take it. You got it. You got this by storm. It can be done. Hi, Samantha, and thank you. Your question is, what was the most surprising thing you learned in creating your book? Uh, um, there were really well, yeah, there were. My surprise was my interview with one of the main characters, Mr. Walker, aka Captain. And he has since passed on. And I say that he's in a better place, but his story was beyond surprising in what happened with his wife and the baby that they shared. Bringing into this world together in 1957 and everything that took place surrounding it and subsequently thereafter. So his story was like bringing together parts to a puzzle that had been missing for almost an eternity, seems like. And once his story was revealed and he was willing to talk about it, I think that was a healing process on his part, but it was like these magnetic pieces that came together and literally meshed a puzzle, a full puzzle together that the pieces had been missing forever. And again, I say, unfortunately, I found out months after he had passed away that he had passed on. And I was really moved by that and the fact that he was willing to give me his story only 2 years prior to passing, and then he passed at the age of 92, I believe. And but when he passed on with his heart no longer heavy. 924, what do you think makes a good story? Great question. Anything you want. Everybody has a story to tell. And if you feel that your story is inspirational enough to share with the world, then share it with the world. Everyone has, if you're sitting down around family and friends and you're telling um, a story about something that happened, or you're just making up something. Last night I was speaking for an hour on the stage, and I was talking about my sons and my nieces and nephews. And one thing I used to do when they were younger, I was in school, so I couldn't afford to take them on many trips and when they were much smaller. And so we would camp out and make makeshift tents with rooms and use the flashlights. And I would sit under these blankets with my kids as though we were around a campfire and have unroasted marshmallows and just make up stories. And these kids would light up like Christmas trees. And my sons would go, Mom, oh my goodness, you could tell a story. And I never forgot that. So now I'm up in age. And for me to tell a story, for me, um, I got to make sure it's something I want to put out there on the market. So for you, it's anything you want. The sky's the limit. It doesn't matter if you have it within your heart and soul to write a story, then write a good story. And I think you got this. I think you can do it. You guys are great. Your questions are impeccable. I've got a good crew of questions that are coming at me, and I can't say thank you enough. That's, to me, in my eyes, a lot of love and support. You care enough to ask, and that means the world to me. Thank you. I hope I didn't miss anybody. The inspiration of the story is the main character of the story who passed away from, I'm sorry, 36, paragraph 36. It's the main character who passed away from renal cell carcinoma, commonly known as RCC, or the other way around, kidney cancer. And that was a very tough journey for her, and it was a very tough journey for her children as well. And the inspiration came out 5 years after she passed away, in reference to the son that she held near and dear to her heart, that she gave up for adoption uh, many years earlier in 1957. And he found his family 5 years after his biological mother passed on. And the story behind it, and why she gave him up for adoption, again, is something that I felt needed to be told to the world and shared with the world, because it dealt with a lot of dark issues surrounding her mental health breakdown. And her breakdown was destructive. And she subsequently again married again and had more children. uh, but she couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle the platform of being a wife or even a mother, based on the baby she had in 1957. What it did was destroy her emotionally, and she took this with her to her grave, and it just came out in such an unexpected way. For 15, if you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be and why? Uh, One would be inspirational. I feel that I could be an inspiration to so many others out there, as a resource. I'm not a doctor, but when I say as a research source, I mean as advice. Uh, I'm very easy to talk to. I'm very loving, and I'm also very caring. So I would, and that's all summed up in, I would say, in one term. Uh, I would be the one that would offer that true suggestion. It may not always be fair, but it would be honest. I am also very honest. Um, and I don't know what else to say. I hope you can gather as much of that from what I just said by your question. Loyal and hardworking, I would say that. And I think that pretty much sums up who I am and why. I've been this way all my didn't come easy, but I've been this way. And especially as I grew older, uh, I saw so much in so many families and so many people that had these particular qualities, but were overlooked. And as they're being overlooked, they become lonely. And I was determined that would not be me. I'm not looking to be overlooked, and I'm not looking to be lonely. But writing is a passion for me, and I enjoy it. And I want to continue until I'm no longer here. Hi, Roman. How are you? I apologize, Roman. 1 second. Fairgo 415. Thank you for your question, along with Fairgo 326. Thank you for your question as well. As well, very good questions, and I appreciate you. And Roman, thank you for your question. At what point do you think someone should call themselves a writer? Um, if you're keeping a journal, you're a writer. If you're keeping a diary, you're a writer. If you're writing any kind of stories for school, you're a writer. Uh, if you decide to take notes to some at some point in your life, pull together into a book regardless of what genre it is, then you're a writer. And so that, Roman, should answer your question. So at what point do you think you're a writer? Should you call themselves a writer at any time you are writing something, your thoughts down, and you decide this is what I want to do at any given time, you are a writer if this is what you choose to do. Roman, also, what difference do you see between a writer and an author? Well, you can have a writer and you can have an author, or you can be one in both. And so, if you, and it's really not much in my eyes, I can't tell you there's much difference. But if you're a writer, you've written your story. You can be a ghostwriter and not be an author. All right. So the author is the person, in my eyes, who would actually put the book out for publishing, and not have physically written that story. That could be the difference. But if you're a writer and you have physically published your book, regardless of the genre, then there is no difference. What advice, Fairgoer 11? Roman, I hope I've answered your question, and I apologize for the delay. Fairgoer 11, what advice would you give to a writer working on their first book? I get that question a lot, Fairgoer 11. My advice is to commit yourself. If it's something that you choose that you want to do, and you're looking at a time frame, I suggest that you don't. Take your time, focus on your thoughts, focus on your space, focus on your inspiration, focus on you. And then all that working together is a team. So when you have your teams, your internal teams working together, the sky's the limit. I hope that answers your question. What to you are the most important elements of good writing? That's a great question. Um, your most important elements is composing your story. When I say composing your story, your thoughts. What is it that you want to write? Uh, Focus on that first, and know what category your writing is going to fall in, and focus on that. Once you can focus on that, uh, again, the sky's the limit. Um, the other part of the elements are your verbiage, your grammar, your punctuation is critical to writing. So you don't just release a book. There's just so much out there that can actually eliminate all that, the mistakes from happening. And it can happen very easily. So focus on that. Don't put a time frame on when it's got to be done. I have gone over my manuscript a thousand times. I'm not even going to say a dozen times. And you can go over it a dozen times, you can go over it 1,000 times, and there's still mistakes. I encourage anyone who's going to write a nonfiction book that you write a nonfiction book and don't allow anyone else to write it, because no one else can tell your story the way you can tell your story. Anything else in any other category, that is fine. That is a personal choice, but that would depend on you. I hope that answers your question, number 11. And Mario, which of the characters do you relate to the most and why? I relate to Ida, aka Grandmom Ida, because of her ability to draw people to her ability to love, and her ability to keep life real as can be, her ability to be honest. And so I relate to her because I knew her. Yes, she was my grandmother. And there's 22 grandchildren, and her love was so unconditional. She showed me much, and she inspired me so much. Um, yes, my grandmother. I speak highly of her because she's no longer with us. I lost her in 2012, and she was my very, very best friend. So God had her here in my life for a reason, and I take everything she's taught me and I run with it. Thank you. I have tears. Thank you, Mario. And that she's the reason why I'm the grandmother I am today, because without her, I don't know where I'd be. And yeah, I become emotional when I think of her. And but she lived her life. She was a nurse. She was a midwife, and she was just a brilliant, brilliant woman all the way around. So I know that she's in a better place, and I know that she's in wonderful hands. And I want to be where she is someday, in the same place and in wonderful hands. Where she taught me to be the woman that I am today. She taught me to be the mother that I am today. And she certainly taught me to be the grandmother that I am today. And for that, I give her that. I put her on that stage. Thank you. Mario, I knew how to run red real fast. Mario, I was raised partially in the Carolinas, in South Carolina, and my grandmother didn't take tea for the fever, but she was a very fair woman, and she didn't believe in hitting and beating and all of that. That wasn't her style. She talked to you, and she demanded respect. That she did. She tell you, she warned you once. She didn't have to warn you a second time, because out front of her house were two big giant willow trees. And if she had to pull a side of that tree down, you better run fast. You better run fast. It was over then. That's adorable. 859. Oh, what do you need in your writing space to help you stay focused? Awesome question. I can't say this enough. In my writing space, again, I can't speak for others, but I can speak for me. And what I did is, during the pandemic, I locked down, and I treated my home as a resort. So every room in the house was an office space minus people in the house. So I would set my time clock, my alarm, to wake up at a certain time every morning. And I treated it like a job. I owned two laptops, and I would go from one to the other to create or change or edit whatever I would need to do. And I would keep a whiteboard in order to focus. And on that whiteboard, I would write, I need to focus. I'm going to edit this manuscript today, or I'm going to write chapters 3 and 4 today, or I would focus in on getting one chapter in, or I would do a revision of the chapter changes. You yourself have to determine your space and how it works for you. In addition to that, I love jazz music. So I love Nancy Wilson and John Coltrane and Miles Davis. That inspired me as well. If I'm sitting there listening to either jazz or old school R&B, I could become inspired. The TV was never on. I could never get anything done with it, so it was unplugged. Weeks for months on end until I was done. That's what I did. I hope that works for you, but you have to determine your own space and set your time and be diligent and committed to your project. I can give that advice to anyone who's writing. And if this is your inspiration, again, the sky is the limit for you, but you got to choose what's best for you. Oh, 6, 7. If your book were made into a movie, which actors would you play the cat? Would play your characters? Someone asked me this the other night. I would love for Denzel. I haven't. There's 4 main characters in the book, but I would, for the 2 main characters, which is the married couple. I would ask for Denzel Washington to play her ex-husband, and for Sanaya Lathan, because I love her style of acting, to play the wife. As far as the other 2 characters are concerned, um, I haven't even gotten to that, and I even haven't even spoken a movie or thought of a movie. But if it happens, I would welcome it with open arms. That's the truth. But we would have to kind of match the actors to the characters that are in the book. But the 2 main characters, I have already, if it ever happens, that's who I would like. Thanks. That's a great question. I get it all the time, but thank you. Denzel is pretty expensive. Laugh out loud. I hope that maybe we can broker at least a less expensive deal with him. I had the opportunity to work with him in for my oldest son in Canada with the 16th Round Productions. He's an awesome dude. He really is. And but that was so many years ago. So I don't even know if he would remember this non-public face, but that's the industry we did many, many years ago in the music industry, and as well as my sons, especially my oldest son is a former child actor. We would see. We would check into the budget. If Denzel is not affordable, there's so many wonderful actors out there. We would be able to find somebody that's just as good. He's not the only one out there that's good. We'd be able to find someone that's just as good. Maybe at least less expensive as well. Again, I encourage everyone to go online and order your copy of Unspoken Truth from a Buried Past. And when you do that, then definitely enter your name by logging into unspokentruth.net and letting us know that you have physically bought a copy by proof of showing us proof of purchase, and you've purchased a copy of the book. Your name will automatically be entered into the raffle drawing for this wonderful Christmas gift basket to be t-shirt sizes to be determined by the winner, and the announcement December 15th as to who the winners will be. You'll be able to locate that information on my website, unspokentruth.net. February 991. Let me pull this up just a little bit so I can see what you're saying to me. Hold on. Yes, your question is, would you have wanted to write in an earlier age? I would have. I would have. And I've always thought about it. It was stated that someday I would. I never saw it, but I thought about it. I didn't know how to go about the process at the time. But I wish I had started earlier than where I'm at now, but it doesn't matter. Age is just a number. So if you're starting at 50, 60, 70, and it's in your heart to do so, then do it. Doesn't matter. I hope that answers your question. I'm sorry, I apologize. And thank you for asking that question. And again, Fairgoer 67, thank you for your questions as well. Wonderful questions. I apologize. The I'm with everyone here. I am actually. I've got family downstairs, and we have the Eagles game going on today, and so that game is going to be starting soon, and we are having a little family get together, and I'm waiting for my grandson to get here. 16 say hi, Kylan. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Hopefully you're one of the recipients of the raffle, and if you can, definitely get a copy of the book and get your beautiful Christmas gift basket by Christmas. I am again. I have a 15-month-old grandson that just warms my spirit, and my oldest grandbaby is thank you is thank you, that's beautiful, thank you, um is 13 years old, and I have one granddaughter, she's 10, and I call her my diva. That's my baby girl. That's ooh, she does something to. I only have one granddaughter. I have boys. I raised sons. I didn't have any daughters. And I now, my youngest grandson lives, I just moved to Georgia a few months ago to be closer to him, and to help where I could help with my youngest son. And so I'm just waiting for him to come and give his mom big hugs and kisses so I can just love all over him. 1665. Wow. The Lord is so great that He's provided us today with a person like you. You are an inspiration. Wow. That's, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm almost got tears in my eyes. That's beautiful. That is, thank you. That means the world to me. That truly means the world to me. And I just want you to know that everything I say, it comes from the heart. And this is the heart that God has provided me with. And it's not going anywhere, hopefully, no time soon. But I'm glad I could be an inspiration to you. I'm glad I could be an inspiration to anyone who wants it or needs it. And as long as I'm here, that's who I'm going to be. But thank you. That means the world to me. And it was Fairgoer 1665. I appreciate that. Now, when I hear the pitter patter of my grandson's little feet running across my catwalk up here, I am going to probably cut you guys short because I haven't seen him in a few weeks. Gigi or my mom has been working hard with Reader's Magnet and storybook of a story festival of storytellers, and I also work on my job. So I've been in training, I've been working with Reader's Magnet, which is a phenomenal experience. And my grandkids have always been first and foremost in front of me, but I do miss them. And I enjoy being a grandmother, just like my grandmother enjoyed being a grandmother. But she had far more grandchildren than I think I'll ever have in this lifetime. So I'm going to enjoy the three that I have to the utmost. Ulysses, great question, honey. What are your strengths as a writer? Um, the ability to focus, that's number one. And you have to be able to manage your time, because you might say, okay, I'm going to do this and do that. I'm going to write this or write that one day. And that day doesn't turn out to be what you expect it to be. That happens to all of us. So be able to manage your time in order to write what you need to write. Your other question is, what do you hope to accomplish in your writing career? I'm not looking to Ulysses to make a career out of this at all. I'm not looking to accomplish anything but to be inspiring, and just to be me. I'm too old now to even look towards a career. I write because it makes me feel good. It makes me who I am, and it inspires me within. And as long as I have those qualities, that's all that matters to me. And right now, my career is within me. It's not to, I'm not trying to be offensive in any way. It's just that I don't do this to say, look, world, here I am. I say that I do this because it's something I enjoy doing. And that's where I'm at this time in my life. It's something I truly, truly, truly inspire and enjoy doing. Also, Ulysses, the other part of that, one of my strengths as a writer, to be able to focus and manage your time, and find something that is near and dear to your heart, and focus on that. If it's something you want to write about, whether it's fiction or nonfiction or whatever genre, whatever category you decide you want to put that in, then focus on that, and those in itself becomes your strengths. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Hi, Erin. How are you today? I hope all is well. What do you say? Your question is, what do you say to the pen? What do you say to the pen is mightier than the sword in this day and age? It can be. And the pen can also be more lethal than the sword. I agree with that. But it's how you navigate that pen versus the sword. All right. In this day and age, uh, you can actually choose to put both entities down. And, the pen can take one out as well as the sword but the pen is mightier. So, and that becomes when the pen becomes mightier, that means you're using your head, you're using your heart. You can walk away from nonsense, and that can be mightier too. So, you know, in essence, can the pen be mightier than the sword? It can be, but it's based on how you use it and how you navigate that pen that can make it mightier. The sword is very lethal if used the wrong way outside of show and tell. Yeah, this day and age, Aaron, is these are very difficult times. So I say I choose the pen over the sword. I definitely choose the pen over the sword. But I'm also very careful about how I manage that pen. I see. We are counting down the time here, and I see I'm hearing other people walking to through my front door, and I want to say thank you. I think I hear my youngest grandson, so I'm gonna give him a few minutes, and I want to say thank you to everyone who's come along with joining me in my virtual work booth or my virtual booth here with the Festival of Storytellers. Is what an amazing experience this has been for me, and everyone who has reached out to ask me questions. I say that you're just equally as amazing, and you are inspirational to me. And I want to say thank you for taking the time out. I would love to 991. I would love to. I'm going to leave that up to Reader's Magnet to set up. They found me, and I have so many other people scratching at my door right now for this. But Reader's Magnet to me is far and beyond stellar when it comes to doing this stuff. So this is very new to me, but I definitely welcome the challenge, if any. And if I can come to wherever you're at, I hope I can meet you and send you an autographed copy. If you're looking at the baskets, the books that are in the baskets will also have an autographed copy of the book as well. And I say, even if you buy a book off of Amazon or Barnes and Nobles or Walmart or Target.com, then pay it forward, give it to someone who this book can inspire, and get yours in the raffle if you're chosen. So, or pay it forward to, even if you don't get it, you might want to just say, here, this book will make you feel good. um, not Do you have any other plans on writing for upcoming books? I do. I stated that earlier. I have two other books coming out the fall of 2022. One is a children's book, and that one is titled How's Your Day? But it's a children's book on autism, and it's a character book, and it's quite an interesting read. I'm not completed the book yet, but it will definitely be inspiring as well. And I have a fiction book coming out at the same time simultaneously. However, I just want the world to know that both of these books are written by yours truly. I don't have anyone rating my work but me, because I feel like I'm the only one who could tell my story and get it across. regardless of the uh, genre, regardless of where it's at, whether it's drama or fiction or nonfiction or a children's book. I enjoy writing myself. And yes, I do. But to answer your question, I hope to be doing book fairs soon. This pandemic has got everybody set back, and we're going to do the best we can. But I encourage everybody to please wear your mask and or get the vaccines. And I myself have been vaccinated, and I have underlying conditions. So I mean, if you can and you choose to, I say you can't lose. You're not only just saving your life, but you're saving the lives of so many others around you. And if you have a family and you love your family enough, then yes, I encourage you to please get vaccinated. It is very, very important. It's important for all those that you love and all those who love you. Some, yes, based on to answer your question, Fred. I'm hoping I pronounced your name correctly. So, is it Fredo, or Fred? I'm not sure. But thank you for asking your question. Do you use a voice recorder when you write? That is a very good question. And yes, it is an option. And yes, I have to answer your question. So, in my case, in the writing of Unspoken Truth from a very past, I did use a voice recorder for one of the characters because I felt that if I didn't get his story on a voice recorder, that my story would not be believable and to so many that were closely involved with this. And he was the only one who could tell the circumstances surrounding the baby. There's a chapter in the book called The Baby in the Chair, and which was called for during this period of time, and he was the only one that could tell that story and why. So I had to use a voice recorder with him. So it really depends on the circumstances on which you're writing, and sometimes that tool does become necessary. Yes. So to my wonderful fairgoers, what a wonderful experience. What an inspirational experience, and how inspirational you have all been to me. And I appreciate you. I truly do. And I hate to say I want to leave you. I hate to leave you. Uh, but I hear someone in the background that is downstairs looking for his Gigi. And I want to go and spend some time because tomorrow's a school day, and I want to go spend some time with the kids before they have to leave. And here it's going to be dark soon. And hopefully, I'll be back on next week, and we can share some more wonderful questions and answers during the fair. So I want to say thank you, 72. I want to say thank you to everyone who has taken the time out to stop and look at my booth and ask me the wonderful questions that you have asked me. And I hope that I've been able to answer all to the very best of my ability for you. Again, purchase a copy of the book, and I hope to be on that tour where I could do some book signings soon. And I look forward to seeing and meeting and greeting every last one of you. In the meantime, stay safe. We have a virus out there that means no good to anyone, so protect yourselves and protect your loved ones. And I hope to see you and everyone soon. So thank you for the beautiful questions and the participation in uh, the Festival of Storytellers virtual booth. KYLEN Barron, Unspoken Truth from a Buried Past. Everyone have a blessed and wonderful and very safe evening. Good night.